Tonight, we are going to work through a lot of shoulder stuff. So get ready. You're going to feel strong. It's going to feel great, but that's where we're headed tonight. Let's start in child's pose. So just bring your knees wide, toes together, and let yourself settle in here as we get ready to get moving. We'll start slow as usual before we start to pick up the speed and intensity of class. As you arrive in child's pose, let your breath become slow and steady. Maybe find that ujjayi breath in through your nose and out through your nose, finding that audible quality that's different from your everyday breath. Letting your chest sink heavier and heavier with each breath that you take. Our thought from today, I came across on Instagram this week by Young Pueblo. Maturity is knowing that when your mood is down, you should not trust the way you see yourself. Maturity is knowing that when your mood is down, you should not trust the way you see yourself. So in class tonight, I hope you find an opportunity to recognize when your mood is up, when you can look at yourself with less critical eyes and see yourself for what you've accomplished and what you're doing tonight. From child's pose, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Walk your hands over to the left as far as you can possibly walk them, still keeping your hips centered and sinking down towards your heels. Take your right hand and stack it on top of your left hand, so you're finding that last little bit of stretch in your side body. Every last rib is finding a little more space here. Last breath in, and walk your hands back to center and continue walking them all the way over to the right. Stack your left hand on top of your right. Last breath in, and walk your hands back to center. Let your chest sink down for just another breath or two here in this central space of child's pose. As you inhale gently, use your fingertips, press yourself up to kneeling. Maybe bring your knees in a little bit so you're sitting back on your heels. And we're just going to work through real simple shoulder stretches right off the bat. So roll your shoulders up to your ears, then back towards the back of the room. Feel your scapula fall down your back and pull your shoulders forward, rounding your spine. Up to your ears and back and down and around. Big shoulder circles. And reverse. Bringing them forward. And come to stillness. Reach your right arm up, drop your right hand, the palm back between your shoulder blades. Reach up with your left hand, grab your elbow. Don't let your chin drop too far. Keep your chin lifted, even if it means your head is pressing back into your arm. And release that and switch. Left palm comes between your shoulder blades on your back. Grab your elbow with your right hand. Keep your chin lifted, core engaged. Keep those floating ribs tucked in and firm. Last breath in and release that. Walk your hands forward just the tiniest bit. Come to tabletop position. Moving into cow, drop your belly, breathe in, tailbone comes up, crown of head comes up, gaze lifts, and breathe out, cat. Round your spine, tuck your pelvis, tuck your chin. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Move through these on your own breath, finding any side-to-side motion or twisty motion. Figure out what your body feels like today, how it's doing. Send your weight forward and back, pausing where you need to. Come to a still tabletop position. Bring your toes together and your knees wide, but not all the way to the edges of your mat, not quite into child's pose, just kind of moderately wide, just a little wider than hip distance. Send your weight back to your heels, almost like you're going to come into child's pose, but keep your chest lifted. Arms are strong, hands are planted. Send your chest forward, shoulders over wrists, and come to a little halfway chaturanga. Push back up. Hips come down. Shoulders over wrists and chaturanga arms. And press back. Come forward, shoulders over wrists, chaturanga. And back. Once more. Press forward, shoulders over wrists, a little chaturanga, and press back into child's pose. Take one breath in, one breath out. Lift yourself back up to tabletop position. Step your left foot back, landing on the ball of your foot. Rotate your heel behind you. Send your left arm up into this supported version of side plank. Gaze up at your left hand. Take your right foot, kickstand it back behind you about 45 degrees, maybe not quite 45, but you get the idea. And just to add a movement that we don't usually do, take a breath in here. As you breathe out, bend your left knee and just send your hips back towards your right heel. Just moving into the kind of weird half squat, getting into our hips a little bit. Your left arm can stay up and over your ear, or maybe you're wrapped behind your back. Re-straighten that left arm, press back up to that traditional side plank. Drop your left hand down, point your right toes to the back of your mat. Lift up your left leg, flex your foot like you're stamping your foot on the wall behind you. Continue to drop your left hip down so your hips stay nice and even. They're not opening up quite yet. We'll save that for later. One more breath in and breath out. Bring your left knee down back to tabletop. Give it a wiggle and we'll do the other side. Right foot steps back, ball of foot lands on the mat. Rotate your right heel behind you. Right arm comes up, side plank. From here, kickstand that left foot out a couple degrees. Take a breath in, breath out, bend your right knee, send your hips all the way back so your bum lands on top of your left heel, opening up. Arm can float over your ear or drop behind your back. Either way, spinning your chest towards the ceiling, right shoulder pointing up at the ceiling. Send your right arm back up. Re-straighten that right leg back to your side plank. Right hand comes down and your right leg lifts to flat. Pressing your foot to the back of the room. Drop your right hip. Breath in and set your right knee down. Back to tabletop position. One more cow. Belly drops, chin lifts, tailbone lifts, shoulders come together, slide down your back. And cat. Spine rounds, chin tucks, tailbone tucks. And come to neutral. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. First downward dog of class today. Take a pause here, feel it out. Check in with both feet, both legs, both hips. How does your back feel? Check in with both shoulders, elbows and palms. And lastly, let your head hang loose. Look up to your fingertips and walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Fold forward, releasing all the way down, releasing your head. You can clasp opposite elbows in ragdoll pose. Maybe sway back and forth a little bit. Shift your weight from one foot to the other to really get a little bit of movement there. Feel it differently between each leg. Drop your hands down to your mat. Roll all the way up to standing. Let your arms reach up. Changing things up today. Interlace your fingers up top and flip your palms over so they're pressing towards the front of the room. Biceps are squeezing next to your ears. Breath in and breath out. Maintain this clasp and forward fold all the way down. When you reach the bottom, release your fingertips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Roll up to standing as you breathe in. Let your arms float up. This time, palms meet at the top, hands come down to heart center. Again, like that. Inhale, everything goes up. Clasp your hands, flip the palms towards the ceiling. Pause here for just a minute. Reach through your hands, squeezing your ears. Breath in, breath out. Keep that clasp forward, fold all the way down. Release your fingertips. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Arms float up, gaze goes up. And exhale, hands to heart. Moving on to our sun salutations. Inhale, everything goes up. Clasp your hands, flip your palms, press to the ceiling, and exhale, forward fold. Release your fingertips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. It's the first one, so we'll do this slow, holding high plank for a good 3 breaths. Breath in and breath out. Lower down all the way to the mat. Belly goes all the way down. Breathe into a little baby cobra, lifting up your chest and shoulders. Exhale, head down. Again, inhale up. Exhale, forehead down. Again, inhale up. Exhale, forehead down. Press back through tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Come back to downward facing dog. Look up to your hands and step all the way up to those hands. Breathe into a half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Here we go again. Inhale up. Flip, interlace fingers, flip palms, press to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, plant your hands, step your left foot back, step your right foot back, lower down all the way to your belly. Inhale to a cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Tuck your toes, press to high plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Last full breath. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, walk up to those hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up. Arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, we're going to add some stuff in. Inhale up. Clasp hands, flip palms, press to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out. Plant your hands, step back to your high plank. Listen up, breath in. Breath out, come to chaturanga, halfway down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, chaturanga, halfway down. Inhale, now come to your up dog or your cobra if you lower it all the way down. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Inhale, look to your hand. Exhale, step all the way up. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in all the way up. Arms up, gaze up. Exhale, hands to heart. Adding in a little bit more. Inhale up. Palms flip to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, plant your hands, step back to high plank, lower down halfway chaturanga, push back up, lower down halfway chaturanga, inhale to your back bend, exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're gonna play with a little balance check here we don't see very often. Inhale your right leg up, three-legged dog. Now without shifting your shoulders over your wrists, you're going to draw your knee in, don't shift your shoulders forward, we do that all the time. And see if you can pick up your left elbow to meet your right knee in downward facing dog. Press through your right hand, press through the ball of your left foot. It might be wobbly. And come back to three-legged dog. Now roll forward to high plank. Maybe you keep your right leg lifted. Lower down to your degree, all the way or halfway. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. So inhale, lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Don't shift your shoulders forward. Stay in downward facing dog. Just pick up your right hand. Can your left knee meet your right elbow under your body? It helps a little if you press through your ball of your foot. See if you can make that connection and maintain that balance. Now your right hand comes down, left leg goes right back up, three-legged dog. Roll forward to your high plank. Maybe leave your left leg lifted. Lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. That one's so challenging for me, and some days it works and I feel it, and some days it's harder. Look up to your hands and exhale, walk, step your feet all the way up to your hands. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Let your arms float up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes down for just a quick second before we get moving through our sequence. You'll see that move with the knee meeting the elbow under your down dog will show up again in our sequence tonight. Breathe in and breathe out. Last breath of stillness here. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Clasp those hands, flip those palms. This time lean to your right, pressing those palms as far to the right as you can. Gazing up underneath your armpit. Pausing here. Feel the space open up between each rib on your left side. Breath in. As you breathe out, continue leaning to the right. Bend your knees the tiniest bit. Bring your hands all the way down. Don't lose your clasp to the ground. Keeping your palms on the ground, fingers still pointing toward each other. Release that clasp so your fingers are pointing in towards one another. Straighten your arms, even if you need to bend your knees a little or a lot. So your palms are flat on the ground, fingers pointing towards each other. Bend your knees so your knees press through your arms, come onto the balls of your feet. Find a little bit of contraction here. Inhale, press your hips all the way back up. Rotate your hands, point all 10 fingers at the front of the room. Pick up your left foot, step back behind you, landing in the nice high-low lunge. Back leg is lifted, pressing through the palms. Breath in and breath out. Pick up your right foot, shoot it high, right into three-legged dog. Your right leg is up. Your left heel is falling to the ground. Now here comes that move. Take a breath in. Now as you take a breath out, don't shift forward, but draw your right knee in. See if you can pick up your left elbow to meet under your body. Now drop your left heel towards your right side. Reach down and grab your right foot with your left hand. And come into a side plank, pressing that left foot, the right foot towards the side of the room. Hold here. You can set that foot on the ground if you're not quite ready. Take a breath in. Now drop your bum all the way down next to your right wrist. If it's not already there, set your right foot on the floor. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold over that right leg. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, roll your body back up. Plant your right hand right back where it came from, next to your hip. Rotate your back toes towards the side of the room. Press into that foot, lifting your hips back up. Pick up that foot again. Set it just above your knee. Bend your back knee a little bit. Set it just above your knee so you're finding that figure four shape. Continue to squat your hips all the way back. Hold it here. Breathe in and breathe out. Straighten your left leg. Plant your left hand coming onto the ball of your left foot. Unwind your right leg. Pick it up. Set your toes behind you. This time your heel's falling all the way over to the right side. Coming into wild thing. Lift your chest. Keep your left leg straight. Press through your right toes. Breath in and breath out. Rotate around. Plant your right hand. Your right leg goes right back up. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose, shoulders over wrists, and set your right shin down on your mat. So you're in this shin lunge. We'll pause here, draw back on your right hip. Press your left heel over your left toes. From here, just like we started class in our warm-up, rotate your left heel behind you, bring the weight into your right palm, coming into this side plank. Maybe step your right hand forward just a little bit as you lift your left leg up. Leaving it on the ground is also an option. Breath in. Keeping your left leg lifted, start to close your hips down. Plant your left hand next to your right. Back to this tabletop position with your left leg lifted. Flex your left foot as though you're going to stamp it at the ceiling. From here, take a breath in. Lift up your right toes. Tuck your right toes. Breathe in and breathe out. Stand up on your right foot, right to three-legged dog. Straighten your left leg. Breath in, breath out. Step your left foot next to your right and down dog. Walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Breathe into a half lift. Breathe out to a forward fold and roll all the way up. Arms float up, gaze goes up. Fingertips touch at the top. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do the other side just like that, nice and slow. Inhale your arms up. Flip your palms, place them towards the ceiling. This time lean to the left. Gazing up under your right armpit. Breath in Breath out, continue falling to the left, hinging at the waist, rolling all the way down. Place your hands on the mat. Separate them so they're not intertwined. Fingers facing towards one another, straighten your elbows. Bend your knees, come onto the balls of your feet, pressing your knees towards the front of the room. Send your hips back up high. Rotate your fingertips back towards the front of the room. So now your hands are placed like we usually do. Step your right foot back. Land on the ball of your right foot. Set your fingers up right underneath your shoulders into a low lunge. Breath in, breath out. Press your left leg right up behind you, three-legged dog. Breath in, breath out. Start to draw your knee under your body. And can you bring your right elbow to tap that left knee? Now start to shift your weight forward. Drop your right heel behind you. Reach out with your right hand. Grab that left foot. Press it towards the side of the room. Or you can leave your left foot on the ground. Take a breath in. Breath out. One more breath in. And lower your hips down next to your right wrist. Your right toes point up at the sky. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold over that left leg. Inhale, roll all the way up. Plant your left hand right next to your left hip. Rotate your back toes down. Press up high. Draw that left foot right up and place it into a figure four. Bend your right leg, finding a squat. The back of your mat. Breath in and breath out. Re-straighten your right leg. Plant your right hand so you're in this high plank with a figure four. Unwind your left leg. Now point your toes behind you, coming into wild thing. Breath in, breath out. Plant your left hand. Left leg reaches right back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Set your shin down right underneath you. Rotate your right heel back. Lift up your right arm to this gentle version of side plank. If you have more available, pick up that right leg. Breath in, breath out. Plant your right hand, rotate your hips down. Keep that right leg lifted nice and flat. Breath in, bend your right leg so your right foot's stamping the ceiling. Tuck your left toes. As you breathe in, press up, three-legged dog. Your right leg is high. Exhale, right foot meets the left. Walk your feet all the way forward to a forward fold. Breath in, half lift. Breath out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Arms float up, gaze comes up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes down. Breathe here for just a minute. And we'll repeat that, picking up the pace, moving one breath to one motion and really flowing through all of those movements. Inhale, bring your arms up. Clasp your palms, flip them towards the ceiling. Exhale, lean to the right. As you exhale, continue to roll all the way down. Hands plant fingers toward each other. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, bend your knees down to the balls of your feet. Time to find this little squat. Inhale, back up. Rotate your fingers towards the front of the room. Step your left foot back, low lunge. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, send your right foot up, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee to your left elbow. Can you tap it? Rotate your back heel behind you. Left hand grabs right foot, or that foot can come to the ground. Breath in, breath out. Your hip comes down right next to your right wrist. Set that foot down. Breath in, up. Breath out, fold over your right leg. Hold here for one breath in and one breath out. Inhale, roll all the way up. Plant your right hand next to your right hip. Rotate that back toe. Pick up your right foot. Place it into a figure four. Squat your hips down. Come back, press back up. Left hand plants to this figure four plank. Right foot unwinds. Toes step behind you. Wild thing, breath in. And breath out. Plant your right hand, right leg comes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Set your shin down. Pick up your left foot and rotate right into that side plank with your foot lifted. Foot can always stay on the ground if that feels better. Breath in. Breath out. Plant your left hand. Keep that left foot lifted. Flex the back knee, pressing your left foot into the ceiling. Tuck your toes and press right into three-legged dog, left leg high. Exhale, left foot steps down. Walk all the way to the top of your mat. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Arms float up. Exhale, hands to heart. Right into the other side. Inhale up. Clasp hands, flip the fingers around. Lean to the left. And continue all the way down. Plant hands, fingers pointing together. Bend your knees, find that little tiny ball shape. Inhale as you press your hips high. Rotate your fingers forward. Step your right foot back. Low lunge. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale, bring your left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes underneath your body. Maybe your right elbow taps. Rotate your back heel down. Grab your left foot. Press it towards the side of the room. Breath in. And lower your hip down next to your wrist. Right toes point up. Breath in. Breath out. Fold over that leg. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, roll up. Left hand plants next to your hip. Rotate that right foot back down. Press your hips high. Grab that foot. Place it into a figure four and squat down. Come forward. Plant your right hand so you're in a figure four plank. Unwind that left foot. Place the toes behind you. And wild thing, breath in. And breath out. Plant your left hand. Left leg goes up. Exhale, left knee to nose. Set your shin down. Right away, pick up your right leg. Balance on your left hand in this version of side plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right hand comes down. And now your right foot bends to point up at the ceiling. Tuck your left toes. Press right up, three-legged dog. Right foot steps next to the left. Walk to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Arms float up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do it one last time through. Just like that. Pay attention to how your body feels now that it's become more familiar with those movements. It's a little less conventional tonight. Inhale, arms come up. Clasp your hands, flip the palms. Lean to the right and roll it all the way down. Hands plant, fingers pointing toward one another. Press the knees forward. Inhale, hips high. Press the fingertips forward. Step your left foot back. Low lunge. Stay here for one breath in. One breath out. Inhale, send your right leg high. Three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes to your nose. Can you tap your knee to your left elbow? Left hand grabs right foot. Extend it out. Breath in. Breath out, drop your bum all the way next to your wrist. Left toes point to the sky. Inhale, exhale. We'll stay here for a couple breaths this round. This isn't a shape that we often find ourselves in. So we'll take advantage of it while we're here. Breathe in, fingertips up. Right hand plants next to your hip. Back toes point down, lift your hips up. Maybe you grab that foot, place it in figure four, squat your back leg. Press it back up. Left hand plants, you're in a figure four plank. Take your right toe behind your knee. Rotate it around. Right toes plant, wild thing. And right hand comes back down, right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shin drops down, left foot goes right up, and rotate your right palm down to the ground. Keep your left leg lifted. Breath in. Left hand plants down, close your hips down. Flex your left knee, left foot's at the ceiling. Tuck your toes. Press up, three-legged dog. Left leg goes straight. Left leg steps next to right. Walk your feet forward towards your hands. Breathe into a half lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, roll up. Let your fingers float up. Exhale, hands to heart. Last side. Inhale up. Clasp your hands, flip. Press your palms. Lean to the left and lean all the way down. Palms plant, fingers facing one another. Bend your knees. Come to this little squat. Press your hips back up, fingers point towards the front of the room. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, your left leg goes up, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Can you make that happen? Drop your back heel, grab, left foot, right hand, press towards the side of the room, breath in, and your left hip drops next to your wrist. Inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, fold over this leg. Again, we'll stay here for 3 breaths this time. Inhale, roll up. Left hand plants next to your left hip. Rotate your right toes down. Pick up your hips. Left foot comes to that figure four. Squat back. Plant your right hand. You're in a figure four plank. Left foot unwinds to the back of your right knee. Toe plants behind you. Wild thing. Breath in. Breath out. Left hand plants. Left leg goes up. Exhale, left shin comes all the way down to the earth. Lift your right leg up. Plant your left hand. Rotate into this side plank. Breath in. And your right hand plants. Close your hips down. Stamp your right foot into the sky. Breath in. Tuck your toes. Three-legged dog with your right leg high. Step your right foot next to your left. Walk all the way forward. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up. And exhale, hands to heart. Last little bit of work. We always do it this way. Inhale up. Clasp hands, flip, press towards the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold right down the center. Release your palms. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back or jump back all the way through your vinyasa to downward facing dog. From downward dog, take a breath in. As you breathe out, drop your elbows down to the earth into dolphin. If you need to drop them one at a time, drop them one at a time. From downward dog, come to dolphin. Now press forward to your high plank. Lower down halfway to chaturanga. Press back up. downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Again, lower elbows, dolphin. Press to high plank. Lower down halfway. Press back up. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Drop your elbows, come to dolphin. Press forward, high plank. Lower down chaturanga. Press back up. Downward facing dog. Again, lower your elbows, dolphin. Press forward, high plank. Lower down halfway. Press back up. Downward facing dog. We're gonna do it again. A little tiny difference this time. Breath in. Lower down, elbows, dolphin. Press forward, right to chaturanga. Press up. Oh, downward facing dog. One more time, that last version. Breath in. And lower down to dolphin, elbows come down. Press forward to chaturanga. Press up. Downward facing dog. Last breath in. And bring your knees down to the earth. Let yourself rest into child's pose on your belly, on your back. This is your opportunity to rest in any way that suits you. We'll stay here for several minutes. So give yourself whatever you need. You can continue to stay here and rest, or you can start to wake up your body. We'll get moving really slowly, so we won't dive right back in. From wherever you're at, press yourself up to seated. Just take a comfy seat. We'll roll out our wrists a little bit. We were on our wrists a little bit more than usual for that one. So take your right hand in front of you, point your fingertips down so the back of your hand is facing front of the room, and take your left hand and just draw your fingertips towards you. Let your thumb relax. Point your fingertips up at the sky. Same thing though, keep the back of your hand towards the front of the room. Draw back on your fingertips. And switch hands. Fingers point down, back of the hand is forward, draw back on your fingers. Point your fingers at the ceiling, draw back. From here, good old wrist rotations, rotate them around. And the other way. Make some figure eights. Both directions. And extend your hands out in front of you and just fingers open and shut, open and shut, and open and shut. Shake them out a little bit. Come into a tabletop position, but flip your hands over so the backs of your hands are on the ground. Fingertips are towards one another. So your hands are like this on the ground. And from here, rotate your arms around. You don't have to put the full weight in the backs of your hands, but rotate, go both directions. Rotating your shoulders around just changes the weight a little bit here. And sit back on your knees, shake it out, and we'll come to standing at the top of our mat. Now, during our sequence, we worked a little bit in the side planks on opening and closing the hips. That same thing will apply here. We're going to move through that movement, balancing on one leg. See if we can maintain our balance while we open and close our hips. So stand with your feet hip distance right beneath you. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Same thing we've been doing for class. Clasp those fingers, rotate, press the palms towards the ceiling. Take a breath in and a breath out. Shift your weight into your right leg. Draw your left knee up into your chest. If you think you'll want to block for half moon, grab it now. Okay, back to that. Palms pressed towards the ceiling. Left knee is drawn up at a 90-degree angle towards your chest. As you exhale, start to lean forward into a warrior three. Just try this grasp one for fun with your upper body. If you hate it, you can let go. Just give it a try. Keeping the left hip pulling down. So your hips are square towards the floor. Breath in. Gently release your hands. Maybe draw them to heart center. Reach your right hand down to the floor or to the block and start to stack your left hip on top of your right, opening up into half moon pose. Breath in, breath out. Left hand comes back to heart center. Close your hips down. Left hip is now closing down back to warrior three. Maybe draw those hands to heart center, or you can keep them down on blocks. Start to come to standing. Bring your left knee with you. Arms up and overhead. And we'll do it again. Hands to heart center. Sweep back. Press that left foot back behind you. You can try on any arm variation here. Breath in and rotate, open up your hips. Left hip stacks on top of right. Right fingertips come to the floor or a block or leave them floating. Breath in. And as you breathe out, this time start to close your left hip down, bend your left knee, and set your left knee on the ground behind your right heel. Coming all the way to a seat into a seated twist. Twist over to the right, right fingertips coming behind you. Your left elbow can hug that right leg or hook on the outside of that right leg. Send your gaze to the back of the room. Release that twist, come to the front of the room. Send your fingertips all the way over to the left side of your mat. Unwind your legs to a wide-legged forward fold. You can grab onto your big toes. Send your elbows towards the ceiling, drawing your chest down toward the earth. If headstand is in your practice, either supported headstand or tripod headstand, now is the perfect opportunity to try. Place those hands or forearms onto the earth. Plant the crown of your head. And if you can lift from a straddle, slowly start to lift up. If you're upside down, slowly make your way back down to a wide-legged forward fold. We'll all plant our hands on the mat, lift to a flat back. Walk your hands over to the right leg, pivoting on your back leg. Step your left foot forward to meet your right in a forward fold, and roll all the way up. Arms can float up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll do that again on the other side. Inhale your arms up. Clasp your fingers, press your palms towards the ceiling. Shift your weight into your left leg. Draw your right knee into your chest. For this first warrior three, maybe try to hang on to these arms as you press your right leg back into warrior three. Right hip is still drawing down towards the earth to square your hips. Breath in. Hands can release to heart center as you stack your right hip on top of your left, moving into half moon pose. Ideally, your right shoulder is on top of your left shoulder. Breath in. Breath out, hands come to heart center, right hip closes back down. Come to standing, bring your right knee with you. And again, keep your hands at heart center. Press your right leg back. Warrior three, hands can stay at heart center or move to blocks or any other choice. Now open your hips. Right hip stacks on top of left. Right shoulder above left. Half moon. And slowly close your hips down. Right hip closes down. Hands can come back to heart. Bend your right knee. Let it come down to the ground behind your left ankle. Come all the way to seated. Finding yourself in a seated twist. Twisting over to your left. Hug your right knee or hug your left knee or hook your elbow. Unwind back to center. Walk your hands over to the right edge of your mat. Unwind your legs, coming into this wide-legged forward fold. Another option here is to twist, in which case plant your right hand underneath your face and twist your left arm up towards the sky. If you want to make your way into a headstand, you have another chance, go for it. Breath in. Breath out, switch, plant your left hand in front of your face. Right arm reaches up to the sky. If you're working on headstand, you have a few more breaths. If you're in a headstand, make your way down. Your right hand is up, planted underneath your face. We'll all come to a deep forward fold. Inhale to flat back. And walk your hands over to your left foot, pivoting on the ball of your right foot. Step your right foot forward to meet your left forward fold. Inhale, roll up. Fingertips touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Come all the way down to seated on your back. And come to flat on your back. Feet pointing towards the front of the room. And we'll move through a little bit of back bend and a little bit of core work before we finish off the last of the class today. So for our core work today, we'll start with what I've heard called in fitness classes as dead bug, but we'll call it something like supine tabletop. So bring your knees up as though you're in tabletop on your back. So they're at a 90, and your arms reach up right towards the ceiling. Now, as you inhale, you extend opposite arm, opposite leg. So right arm, left leg, almost to the ground, and come back up. And switch left arm, right leg, and back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, open, and close. And if you need to make this more difficult, you can straighten your legs. Same concept, opposite arm, opposite leg. Continue at your own pace, taking care to breathe in as you open and breathe out as you contract. 2 more on each side on your own count. As you finish that up, plant your feet right next to your behind, knees pointed up at the ceiling, moving into a bridge. Start by tucking your pelvis under, closing that gap at your low back that normally naturally lifts, and then press your hips high. For this first one, just leave your arms alongside your body, palms face down, squeeze your glutes. Use your glutes to press your hips higher, higher, higher. Breath in. Stay here for a breath out. Breath in. And lower all the way down. Let your knees windshield wiper from side to side a little bit. Now for this next part, we'll do a hollow hold. So send your legs out. Again, rotate that pelvis under so that gap at your low back is closed. Lift your shoulders up off the ground. We're going to take our left knee and pull it in. Our right hand comes behind our head and we rotate so our right elbow meets our left knee. Your back is flat against the ground. It's a hollow hold. We're going to hold it just like this for 30 seconds. Keep that low back flat into the ground. Your left hand is out on the ground. Left knee meets right elbow. You're halfway there. No, you're more than, well, no, halfway. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And we'll do the other side. So start with our feet pointing up. Let them come down towards the earth. Keep that low back glued to the earth. Lift your shoulders. Left hand comes behind the head, right elbow, left elbow, right knee. And we'll hold here 30 seconds. It's crucial that you keep that pelvis tilt so that the low back is flat against the ground. It's the first element of a true hollow hold, hollowing out your belly by pressing your lower back into the ground. If I was there with you, I shouldn't be able to come over and slide my fingertips underneath your low back like I could do in Shavasana. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. We'll move to another back bend. Plant your feet, knees up towards the sky. Rotate your pelvis, flatten your back. Press your hips high. This time, clasp your hands behind your back and roll your shoulders under. Pressing your palms down into the earth, pressing your forearms into the earth, continuing to squeeze your glutes. Lifting, lifting, lifting. One more breath in. Come to your tippy toes. Release your arms from behind you. Lower all the way down. Take your feet, point them up at the sky. I'm going to take a moment to do an inversion if you didn't have the opportunity to do a headstand at the beginning of class today. Or during class today. So option number 1 would just be to stay just like this. Feet up the wall without a wall. But if you're home and you're nearby a wall, you can always rotate your body around. Plant your hips right next to the wall. Send your feet up and rest right here. Legs up the wall. This is an awesome position and is a great one for anybody at the end of the day. If that doesn't interest you and you're working on headstand or handstand, you can continue to work that into your practice. If you want to try shoulder stand tonight, you can try shoulder stand. In which case, roll your knees right next to your face. So your hips come up and over. Your hips right over your shoulders is the idea. With your hips over your shoulders, you can press the backs of your arms into the ground, using your thumbs to brace into your hips. And here you want to have your toes over your hips. So in a perfectly aligned shoulder stand, your toes are over your hips are over your shoulders. Don't look around. If you're in a shoulder stand, don't move your neck around. I'll be quiet for a few moments here. As you enjoy your inversion. Just a few more breaths. If you're in shoulder stand and you want to move into plow, go for it. Wherever you're at, slowly make your way back down to your mat. Once there, you're going to come onto your belly. We'll do some upper body and shoulder stretches to finish class today. So come onto your belly, facing towards the front of the room. I flipped around, so I have a little more space for my wingspan over here. Place your arms right out into a T, just from side to side. Now gaze over at your right hand. Take your right hand, plant it next to underneath your right shoulder. Press into your right hand, slide your left hand back a little bit and roll onto your side so that your right hip is on top of your left hip. And your right legs are stacked right on top of one another. You can rest your head on the ground. This is working into that left shoulder, left deltoid. If you have the space, you can take your right foot, step it behind your left knee. If you have even more space, you can actually pick up your left foot, step it next to your right, and point both knees up at the sky. Just hold here and breathe. Just a few more breaths here. Start to close your hips. If your foot is planted, start by taking your right foot on top of your left. Close your hips, gently roll back onto your belly. Send your right arm out into a T. Switch your gaze over to the left ear, or left side, and we'll switch to the other side. Left hand plants underneath left shoulder. Press into that left hand. Wiggle your right hand behind you, keeping it perpendicular to your body. Left ankle stacks on top of right ankle. If you have more space here, your left foot can plant. And your knee points up at the sky. You have even more space. Your right foot can step next to your left, both knees pointing up. If your right foot is planted, go ahead and re-extend it out. And if your left foot is planted on the ground, extend it out so it stacks on top of your right ankle. Gently roll back onto your belly. Re-extending that left arm out. Without thinking too much about it, plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Flip right around, back onto your back. Plant your feet on the mat, knees pointed up at the sky. Pick up your right ankle, set it on your left thigh, making a figure 4 shape. You can stay here just like this, pressing your right knee toward the front of the room. You have more space, reach through that figure 4, grab onto your thigh or shin, continuing all the while to press that right knee towards the front of the room. Keeping hold of your left shin or thigh, don't let go. All you do is pick up your right leg and extend it straight out in front of you. Draw that left knee into your chest. And we'll switch it up. Plant your right foot on the ground. Left ankle comes to your right thigh. Stay here just like this. Or reach through that 4. Grab onto your thigh or shin. Press your left knee towards the front of the room. Keeping hold of that right leg. Don't let go of your right leg. Pick up your left foot and extend it out in front of you. Draw your right knee into your chest. Draw both knees into your chest and let both knees fall over to the left into a twist gaze over at your right fingertips. Draw both knees back into your chest and let them fall over to the right this time. Switch your gaze. Knees come back to chest. Last posture, happy baby. Send the soles of your feet up to the ceiling. Grab the outsides of your feet or your big toes. Let your knees come down alongside your rib cage, towards your armpits, towards the ground. Straighten your legs one at a time if that feels good. Or at the same time. One last breath in. One last breath out. Set yourself up in Shavasana. Let your feet come to the edges of your mat and fall away from center. Arms come down alongside your body. Palms face up. Let yourself enjoy these last few minutes where you have no responsibilities to anyone else. Wake your body up, wiggling your wrists and your ankles. Roll over onto your favorite side in the fetal position. Maturity is knowing that when your mood is down, you should not trust the way you see yourself. If that resonates with you, maybe carry it with you throughout your week, the weekend. Press yourself up to seated, finding a comfortable seat. Draw your hands to heart center and press your thumbs into your heart. Take a moment here to acknowledge and honor the unique spirit within you. The light in me honors and sees that light in you. Namaste.